Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Well, about 10 to 12 years ago, I used to own a Christmas store, and we used to make these delightful little whimsical bows. Back then, we sold them as ornaments. We would sit them in our trees, and all the wonderful little tails were just so delightful. Today, the fad and the craze is the wreaths. All the wonderful little whimsical bows, or funky bows as I've heard them called also, just makes great wreaths. I just love this. However, all of that measuring and twisting and pinching is just as hard on the hands as a conventional bow. So please join me as I show you how easy it'll be on your hands with using Pro Bow the hand. And also I'm going to take the whole process of measuring completely out of the equation. That is a huge time saver for you. And yes, I did say that. You're going to completely take the process of measuring out. So please join me as I show you how to make this delightful little whimsical bow. Okay, so here we go. And please excuse my voice. It's kind of that time of the year, but I really wanted to get this video done for you, and it just doesn't seem like my voice is going to get any better than this, but I hope you enjoy the video. So anyway, the first thing that I want to show you is that the measurement from the outside edge of the board to the base is 10 inches. Then from the base to the tallest finger is 6 inches. So 6 and 6 is 12. So this is your loop. So that's a 6-inch loop. And then this measurement here, of course, is 10. That's 32 inches. That is the conventional whimsical bow measurement. So Pro Bow the hand was just designed perfectly to do these kind of little bows. So there's your measurement. Now, the next thing that I want to tell you, if you've used Pro Bow before, you'll know that the little fingers are designed, they're not terribly tight, because you want to be able to move them from one hole to the next so you can make different size bows very, very easily. However, whenever I'm making a whimsical bow, I like them very tight, because you're going to see how I use this differently. And so if you want to do that, what you do is just take one little piece of Scotch tape and then just wrap it around the bottom, and then that you can tighten up your little fingers using that. So that's kind of how I solved that little problem, because especially with my base finger, you see how tight I have this in here? I don't want this moving at all. So I've just really tightened that up with Scotch tape, and they're just firmly in there. And you'll see as we go along why that's so important. Okay, the next thing is I have 2 spool holders set up with this, because I'm really going to show off, and I'm going to make this little whimsical bow with 6 ribbon. I have 3 2-inch ribbon and 3 1-inch ribbon. That's just kind of how I like to do it. One spool holder does come with the Pro Bow. You may purchase a second spool holder for $5.99 if you want to be able to pull this many ribbon at the same time. Okay, so now we're ready to start. What I've done is, you can see how I've stacked my ribbon. I did along a 2-inch ribbon, then a 1, and I stack it carefully, then a 2-inch ribbon right on top, a 1, and see how I'm trying to place that pretty carefully right on top, a 2-inch ribbon, and then a 1. If you want your tail this long, you can bring it all the way to the edge. I kind of prefer them to be just a little shorter than that, so I'm going to put it about right here. You can decide how long you want your tails. You can put a mark on your little board, and then you'll never have to measure again. So I'm going to make these these little tails about right here, and that's going to be my measurement. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully pick these up, fold it in half, And you can see how I'm not moving this ribbon around very much. I'm very carefully holding it. And look, I'm going to cut all of them all at one time. What a great time saver. Put it back down. Look, all of my little tails are cut. Here's my measurement. Look, I'm a little bit from the end. Here's my measurement here. I'm going to pinch. Look, I'm pinching them all at the same time. Now I'm going to come with 2 pieces of wire. You're going to have to use 2 pieces of wire. This is 26 gauge wire. Come from behind. And you see how I'm keeping my work low to the table? The reason why I'm doing that, I'm not going to pick this up high in the air. It's going to make your ribbon pop off your spools. So I just keep this low. And so it's 1, 2 times around. And now what you're going to do is you want 1 wire up and then 1 to the side. See? 1 wire up, and then I've put 1 wire under, 1 wire down, 1 wire to the side. And you'll see why in just a second. Now, you're going to come to the base finger on Pro Bow. You're going to take your top piece of wire and wrap this around here very tightly. You want to hold this in place, and then your other piece of wire just around the nail just once, and stick it under there and get it out of your way. Now, what you're going to do, all you're going to do is carefully, look, you see how I'm pulling all of my ribbon. I'm pulling all of my ribbon, and then all I'm going to do is flip it around. And there's my measure. Now it's measured. Keep it all lined up. And pinch and go between those 2 pieces of wire. Tighten it up. And you see you're coming below your base finger. You want to be below your base finger. And don't cover up that piece of wire there. You want to be below your base finger and then wire it off. Please excuse my voice. I'm getting really hoarse. Wire it off, and that's all there is to it. Isn't that wonderful? Now you can take these, all your little tails here, keep them carefully lined up, and you're going to measure over this way. And now, okay, I'm going to come right about to the E. I'm going to flip them all over, and I'm cutting all of my little V's or my little dovetails all at the same time. Now, how easy is that? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start fluffing my bow. I'm going to start fluffing my little bow before I take it off of the hand. I'm going to let this hand do as much work here for me as possible. Now, look how easy this is. And I kind of like to kind of round them off a little bit. Just makes them pretty. So that's all the little tails that's going that way. And then I'm going to make, let's see. Don't like everything to be exactly the same on both sides, so we're going to move some things around here. I'm going to put this over here, and see, just kind of turn it. I'm going to pull this around over here. Let's see. See, I'm going to make that come out over there. I don't like everything to be in the exact same position. I like to kind of move things around a bit. There we go. See, this one's down here, this one's up here. These are kind of crossing each other. And you can kind of play with this too after you get it tied in place where you want it on your wreath or whatever, or if you're going to sit it in your tree, you can kind of play with this again. So that kind of starts forming your little bow right there. Let's turn this over. And there you go. So you started making your little bow already. Let's see, I'm going to move this. I don't like that right there. I'm going to move this. It's too close to the other one. They're going to be kind of across from each other. There you go. Now, you're going to come and take your piece of wire and wrap it. And then get your piece of wire off the little nail and lift. And there's your little bow. It's all made. Now you're going to take 2 pieces of wire. See how this came out? You're going to have 2 pieces of wire coming this way and 2 pieces of wire coming this way. And so you can really secure this down if you're going to put this into a wreath or into your garland or tie it onto your tree. You have 2 pieces of wire to really work with. And now you just open your loops and your little whimsical bow is made. See, you're just going to pull all your little loops open and your little bow is made. So how easy is that? With Pro Bow the hand, taking out that step of all that measuring saves a tremendous amount of time. So let me just finish this and I'll be right back with you in a second. So here I am, y'all. 2 perfectly made whimsical bows. I'm well on my way to having my second wreath made, and I've used 6 ribbon, and you saw just how easy that was to do. Now another thing is, some of these tails I like to cut just a little bit shorter, and I might kind of clip these off. I adjust, but that's just me. I kind of adjust after I attach them to my wreath. So you might try that that method also. I hope y'all enjoy. Thank you so much, and I guarantee this is much faster. No more measuring all of this ribbon and no hurting hands. Hope y'all enjoy. Thank you so much.